Welcome to Lead, talking about the law of the bad apple. You know how it is, and I'm taking this from the 17 Indisputable Laws of Teamwork by John Maxwell. You know how it is. The old verbiage was, one bad apple spoils a whole bunch. Rotten attitudes ruin a team. When it comes to teamwork, you get someone on the team with a negative, bad, kind of rotten kind of attitude, and it just infects the entire team. I don't know if you've ever bought a bag of apples, and you get the apples, and in the bag, they look so good, you grab them, you get them home, and you get to moving through, and then you find one that's got like that bad, soggy spot, and it's dripping on the others, and you just, it's me, that goo, whatever it is, when it's dripped on the other ones, it just seems like it ruins them all. And so when we're talking about this idea of the law of the bad apple, I think first of all, it's important to understand that what John Maxwell's talking about and what all of us need to understand is just the power of attitude. Attitude. Chuck Swindoll, if you ever read what he wrote about the attitude is about 90% of my response to what happens to me. How am I going to respond to things? Am I going to choose a good attitude? Am I going to have a positive outlook on this? Or am I going to go negative and have just a bad attitude about things? Because attitude, when it comes to a team, will do this. It's either going to lift up the team or it's going to tear down the team, right? So when you enter and you're a part of a team, or maybe you're leading a team and you're looking at the people on your team, it just takes someone with a bad attitude coming in and they can really bring the entire team down. On the other hand, a good attitude, it can lift the team up. The thing about attitudes are attitudes. There's this idea that they compound when they're exposed to others. So you expose a good attitude to people, again, there's an uplift that comes with people. But you expose a negative or a bad attitude, well, you're going to bring the team down. And what I've found is that bad attitudes compound much faster than good attitudes. I was in a pastoral cohort today, and we were talking about just sharing a little bit. People were, and Chet Berry, a friend of mine, shared about how that this one person in his church, and he developed a whole philosophy of based on this. Not just one person, but one person that helped identify this was just a negative, bad attitude, a person with a very bad attitude, and just pulling things down. He says this, no, it's not been like researched and developed, but just in his personal opinion, it takes 25 people with a good attitude to outperform, out impact one person with a bad attitude. Bad attitudes are dangerous to a team, and you can have a great attitude and see where it takes you. You also have a bad attitude and see, like an elevator, how it brings you down. And I love what John Maxwell, in his book, Winning Attitude, he wrote this about attitude. He said, it is the advance man of our true selves. Its roots are inward, but its fruit is outward. It is our best friend and our worst enemy, talking about attitude. It's more honest and more consistent than our words. Right? Attitudes show up even though your words are saying something else, your attitude. Anybody ever heard somebody say, well, that person's got attitude? And you could be like, you're talking about somebody's got some spunk, or you could talk about somebody that's kind of coming in a bad mood, and their attitude is conveying something that their words are not. It's an outward look based on past experiences, attitude. It's a thing which draws people to us and repels or repels them. It is never content until it is expressed, attitude. It's the librarian of our past, right? Once you have something that impacts your attitude, here it comes again. You ever do that thing where you get a little paper cut on your finger, and you know how it's there for a few days, or you go to touch something, ooh, because you had a past experience, and now that painful part of your hand, and you get a little cautious about that. Attitudes like that. It is the speaker of our present. It is the prophet of our future. Attitude. And when it comes to attitude, you can have on a team, you can have great talent with a rotten attitude and have a bad team. Well, I've seen it watching sports, how you'll see man, there's all the talent there, there's ability, they can do it, they can win, and yet there's a rotten attitude on the team. And because of that, it just makes the team bad. Great talent plus a bad attitude, right? Not necessarily a rotten attitude, but just a bad attitude, kind of produce an average team. Great talent with an average attitude, the people on the team with average attitudes, well, it's a good team. But if you really want to go to a great team, it's great talent with great attitudes that equal a great team. And so no matter where you're serving, check your attitude. When I was a kid, sometimes we go to youth camp and they say, attitude check. And then the whole entire group had to respond to that. What kind of attitude do you have? And even though circumstances in your past might have been rough, you might be dealing with something right now, with dealing with something in your life that's tough, you can still choose your attitude. You can make a choice. What's my attitude going to be for today? Every day you got a choice. Am I going to have a good attitude today? Or am I going to have a bad attitude? Am I going to have a positive attitude today, or am I going to have a negative attitude? Am I going to have an attitude that's going to be infectious in a positive and good way, or am I going to be tearing down what's happening by my negative attitude? I've got to choose the right attitude every day. And what I find is that most bad attitudes are the result of selfishness. I care more about what I feel, what I want, what I desire, what I don't have, my lack, my problem, than I do with the other people that are around me. If we realize that attitude impacts others and others on the team, then it'll cause me to check my attitude at the door. And whether you're on a team or leading a team, if you're leading a team, you know this, people that lead, they go first, right? They lead the charge. They prefer others, right? I can't remember who the great guy was that wrote the book, Leaders Eat Last, right? You honor and provide for others. But so on a team, whether I'm leading a team or on a team somewhere, what's my attitude? If you're leading a team, it is imperative that you check your attitude and you have a good attitude. Doesn't mean you're not honest or truthful about how you feel. It means this, that you choose to impact others with a positive slant, right? Well, there's 10 ways we can look at this. I'm going to choose the way that is going to produce the best results, right? I'm not trying, right? We had the whole thing, am I a half full or half empty guy? Well, yeah, half full sounds better than half empty. But the reality is a good attitude looks at it and says, you know what? I don't want half empty or half full. I want like 10 glasses, right? I'm going to choose up here. I'm going to choose a positive attitude. Because understand this, and John Maxwell said this, and I think this is so true. Your attitude determines the team's attitude. If you want a team that's going to be a great team, whether you're serving in an area of ministry here at Elevation Church, or whether it's in your place of business, or even at your family, if you want to have a great team, great community, you got to have a great attitude. Your attitude determines the team's attitude. Let's understand the law of the bad apple and know that rotten attitudes ruin a team, and therefore we're going to choose to have good attitudes, positive attitudes that are going to make a difference. Thank you for viewing this today.